All right, boys, today we're talking about something most guys don't even want to admit themselves: being alone. You know, we're all out here chasing success, relationships, whatever. But let me tell you, if you can't be happy on your own, you're never gonna find true happiness with anyone else. I had to learn this the hard way, and it changed everything for me. So today I'm gonna show you why mastering the art of being alone is a literal superpower most people are too scared to even try. Let's get into it. So I was absolutely terrified of being alone. I had anxiety thinking about doing things by myself. And after my dog suddenly died and my ex and I broke up after 2 years, I knew that I needed to grow to become more independent and find happiness on my own. Coming from someone who was in the Marines for 4 years, I was independent to a degree, but if you think about how the military works, you're pretty much with people all the time. I had roommates for 4 years, always eating together, having a workout partner, going on trips together, and just being around other guys constantly 24/7 for 4 years straight. Now, you're watching this now and maybe you're feeling like you have a hard time going and doing things alone. Obviously, you're on this self-improvement journey and know deep down that you need to be more independent. So rewind back to the middle of, I think it was like 2014. And I was just getting out of the Marines. I had a girlfriend. We ended up moving in together. And we basically lived like we were married for 2 years. She was actually a flight attendant and she was gone half the time for traveling. I had a pass to be able to fly for free after we were together for a year, which was absolutely incredible. But I literally never used it. I could fly for free anywhere, but I didn't. I was too fucking scared to go on trips by myself. Now, at the time, I was like 23, but it's like part of me wanted to be able to be that free. I thought that I always had to have someone with me. This is a pretty common thing for most people. Like, most of us feel like we need to have someone with us for everything that we do. There are those outliers of people, the free spirit wanderers naturally, but that's not the case for most of us. And hindsight looking back, I wish I would have taken advantage of those benefits and flown around the world. But at the time, the excuse I made was I was in school full time, taking full 5 classes. Still, I mean, I could have done something. I remember one of the arguments we got into, my ex said, "Brian, you need to find what makes you happy because I can't be the one to find that for you." And at first I rejected this because of my narrow mind and my ego, but I later realized this was so true. Basically, you need to find what makes you happy. You cannot put that responsibility on your partner or anyone to give you the happiness and independence that you need. So when you feel like you depend on someone else, or if they are also depending on you, this is called codependency. You never want to be in a codependent relationship, by the way, but that's a topic for another day. In life, you have to find happiness for yourself, within yourself. Your girlfriend is supposed to add value to your life, but is not responsible for your happiness. Does that make sense? For example, I had these completely unrealistic expectations in my mind of what I thought she should do and who she should be, but that was not her. At that time, I wanted someone who was around all the time, cooking at home every night, and basically realized I wanted someone who was like my mother, and my ex was really nothing like her. But I would get mad at her for being gone so much, but that was completely absurd because that literally wasn't her. One of the ways you find happiness is by learning who you are and what you like. One of the ways you do this is realizing, number one, you don't need anyone to be happy. You have to force yourself to be alone. So you have to put yourself in situations that are going to be uncomfortable at first, but eventually you get used to it. So I remember when we broke up and my dog had died a few months prior, she took the other dog we had because I gave it to her. It was really more of her dog. It felt so quiet, man. Really fucking weird at first. Apartment was empty, had to redecorate everything. I did the best I could, but I also outsourced some other women I knew to help me with that. I was single for like 5 years, minus some casual dating in between. Literally the best thing you can do for yourself because you put yourself in a position of empowerment, is forcing yourself to be alone and even being single for a long extended period of time. You work on the most important relationship in your life, and that's the one that you have with yourself. You find happiness from within and from having other awesome experiences in your life. I've taken myself on dates, out to eat, to the movies. I still do it. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm gonna go see the new Joker movie because one of my friends can't go, and I personally don't feel like hitting anyone else up. I don't mind going by myself. And it doesn't even matter at this point because I feel so comfortable with myself that I don't need someone else to do something with. If I wanna go do something, I'm just gonna go do it. If I wanna go get a $50 meal with steak and potato, I'll go get it and enjoy that meal. I don't need to just invite someone along just because. Yeah, I mean, it's great and all, going out on a nice date with a girl or grabbing dinner with one of your boys, but there's nothing holding me back to just do things alone. And I do things alone all the time. I also like spending time with people. I see so many people going and doing things with people all the time, maybe even with people they don't prefer to be with, but they'd rather have that company than be in the company of themselves. Or you know those people who just hop from one relationship to the next, but they're never happy and there's always issues, and maybe even end up dating the same types of people and, you know, the same issues come up. It's like they're trying to find answers and happiness in other people, but the only place you can ever look to find that is within yourself. And again, man, like, it's not easy at first. It's really not. It's very uncomfortable, feels awkward, you're in your head, some thinking about like what other people are thinking about you as if they actually give a fuck. They aren't thinking about you, bro. No one really gives a fuck about you like they think they do. And I say that with love. Like, we think people care so much about us, but reality is everyone is so busy thinking about themselves all the time. Literally, 99% of the things that we think people actually care about, no one really cares about because we're all so busy just thinking about ourselves, right? It's kind of funny how that works. So it's definitely a little uncomfortable at first when you start going and doing things on your own. But isn't growth uncomfortable? I mean, that's why they call it growing pains, right? Take yourself out on dates. Go sit down to eat. Don't always take it to go. Go to your favorite restaurant. Go sit down and dine yourself out. Go see a movie by yourself. Go grab some ice cream, whatever. I really like working out alone. I love working out alone, and I think having a workout partner is great, but you don't need to be dependent on that all the time. Like, let's say if your gym buddy moves or whatever, and then you start slacking on your workouts because you haven't found a new workout partner yet, it's kind of a shitty excuse, right? But as a man, you need to learn to be self-sufficient. That means not depending on always needing someone else. Yes, I do believe having strong men together with different skill sets is much more powerful than just one man trying to figure everything out. I absolutely believe that. But my philosophy is you should outsource the things you naturally just don't like or are not good at. Like, find friends who are better at those things and do everything else yourself. And when it comes to relationships, I've been single for over 7 years now, just purely focusing on myself. And it's been one of the absolute best things I could have done. Now, sometimes I think, man, I would really like a partner, you know, it would be nice, but I had put myself in a position where it wasn't my focus. I've been focused on becoming the man first. And a lot of the times we have to go on that journey alone. No one else can go on that journey with us. And once you become the man, then the women will come. It's something I put on the back burner purposely because, look, if you're in your 20s and 30s, the number one priority you should have should be building your body, building your business, becoming smarter, developing your skill sets, you know, acquiring resources, all that stuff, building the whole 9 yards. Even though life is a whole process of learning to love yourself by embracing the times of being alone. You can bring awareness to your strengths and weaknesses and be able to improve on those areas. So that way, like I was saying, when you do meet the right people, whether that's your friends or romantic partner, you're meeting people that align more with you. Because when you get to know yourself and live in your truth, when you are living in alignment with your values, your passions, just living life as your authentic self, That's when you attract the right people in your life. That's when you meet your best friend who becomes a lifelong friend. That's when you meet your partner, your beautiful girlfriend, beautiful wife. When you become that person, you attract what you are. Now, the only drawback of being alone and single for so long is that it makes it harder to find someone who is worth giving up your complete independence for. But as I've gotten older, especially just recently, the last couple of years, I've had this realization that the right person for you will also give you the space that you need. Because in a healthy relationship, you are basically two whole individuals who know themselves and love themselves coming together in union to complement each of your awesome fucking lives. Like, that is what it's all about, bro. I'm telling you. And I get chills when I talk about this because I believe this to my core. Learning to be alone is a fucking superpower because you realize that no matter what happens, you have you at the end of the day. A relationship doesn't work out, that's fine because it wasn't meant to be. And you have you. None of your friends are free to go grab dinner or go see that movie? No problem. I'll just go anyway. Your workout buddy moves away? You don't need a workout partner anyway. Been single for a couple years now? You haven't met the right person yet? It's all good, man. The timing isn't right. And in the meantime, to just enjoy your awesome life on this amazing and exciting adventure. When you find things you love doing, you're invested in your work. Let's say you have a side project you're passionate about. When you're, finding a way to help and serve others daily, going to the gym every day, you're building your body, you're on your nutrition game, you're, spending time with family and friends, whatever, you're good, your schedule becomes filled up. And another thing too is when you're alone, you're naturally gonna have more quiet time, which quiet time in solitude is so important, bro. Having that time in solitude in your head, when you can just process your life and connect the dots, things just start to make sense. And I can honestly say it was the times when I was single where I had the most growth, the time alone, time I spent in solitude as, maybe I'm listening to someone on YouTube, I'm writing, I'm reading, and then reflecting on all that stuff. Or maybe I'm just driving in the car with no sound or music or anything, going for a walk or a run with no music, just in my thoughts. Very, very powerful. I do this stuff all the time still. You have to design your life exactly how you want and do exactly what you want. There's no better feeling in the world. Now, when I say that, that's a bit of a caveat. If you have a job and you have responsibilities and work, like you have to go to that job. If it's a job that you're doing, it's a means to an end to pay the bills. You can't just wake up and just go work out and then, go to the pool and just fuck off all day. You have to take care of your responsibilities. But start to design your life the way you want it to be and have that vision and start slowly building that. Learning to enjoy being alone is a superpower. So that's it, bro. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope that made sense. All right, guys, if you like this video, I want you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.